I think it's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games. A minus 31 free throw discrepancy. And I might be able to understand it if we were just chucking threes, but we're not. We're attacking the rim. And the disrespect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable.
This is no longer just Uncle KC who is complaining about this. This is no longer Stephanie White, who has every reason to be biased with the complete lack of officiating since, she's the head coach of the Indiana Felines, and Caitlin Clark is not only her best player, the Roo from Waterloo's also the reason Stephanie White and everyone else in the WNBA dump is getting paid. These complaints are no longer just coming from people who have a reason to be biased. We now have someone making the same assessment who is overly qualified. Unlike the pretend analyst at ESPN, Debbie Antonelli is a real pretend basketball analyst. She has been analyzing pretend basketball for damn near its entire existence. I feel like I keep repeating myself, and I will continue repeating this until the diva of dump divas, Cathy Engelbert, finally decides to do something about it. This is a very simple concept. I don't know why this is so difficult for the dump diva to understand. You have to protect your star. I hope you noticed I did not say stars. This is not plural because the WNBA only has one star. They've got one player who's capable of drawing a mainstream audience. You have got to protect her at all costs. This concept has been utilized for decades in the business of orchestrated combat. Vince McMahon, he is always overly protective of his stars. Dudes like Bastion Booger, Duke the Dumpster Drosy. Fun fact about Duke the Dumpster, after his career as a sports entertainer ended, he became one of the lead trainers in the WNBA dump. Now, he's responsible for teaching incoming rookies how to remove the lid from the trash can and dump the garbage into the back of the truck. But anyway, dudes like Booger, Dumpster, they were never booked to win matches, and they damn sure weren't winning matches against established stars. Back in the 80s and 90s, they called them enhancement talents. Their job was to enhance the real stars. Their job was to make the real stars look unbeatable. Hulk Hogan rarely lost matches on television. Stone Cold Steve Austin, he rarely lost matches, period. Hell, he left the company in the early 2000s because he was booked to lose to Brock Lesnar. Vince McMahon was always overly protective of his stars. You weren't going to throw Steve Austin off the top of a 20-foot cage. Why? Because if he gets injured and he's off the road, it directly impacts the bottom line. Austin was the one selling tickets. He's selling merchandise. He was the reason that millions of people were tuning in every Monday night, sitting through ridiculous segments of Val Venus pretending to get his wiener eradicated. People would sit through that garbage just to get to Steve Austin. So I can't understand why the WNBA doesn't utilize the same concept. This past week, Caitlin Clark has missed games due to injury again. First, it was a quad strain. Now it's a groin injury. Are the injuries being caused by the increased level of physicality that she's being forced to deal with? I don't know, but I can't imagine that it helps. For the better part of 2 years, Caitlin Clark fans have been complaining about the egregious officiating in the dump. Unfortunately, Cathy Engelbert refuses to listen. Oh, those peasants. They don't know anything about our league. The vast majority of our players love to get physical with each other. Since Kat doesn't want to listen to the paying customer, maybe she will listen to Debbie Antonelli, someone who spent the last 25 years analyzing the WNBA, while Cathy Engelbert was busy counting beans at some doofus company named Deloitte. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. Do you struggle with back problems, deal with minor aches, minor pains throughout your day, and you don't want to go to the doctor because all the doctor's going to do is find something else wrong with you? Even worse, prescribe addictive medication that you just don't want to take. Me personally, I hate going to the doctor. So does my wife, who actually deals with back pain. That's why she started using CBD lotions and oils from Sugar Mountain Trading. Now, this is not THC. Not going to make you fail a drug test. These CBD lotions and oils, they are specifically designed for rapid pain relief. Like I said, my wife deals with nagging back pain from time to time. Tried over-the-counter stuff, the chiropractor, but none of that ever seemed to work. Within 5 minutes of me applying CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading, her pain is gone. I'm telling you, it's damn near magical. Sugar Mountain Trading also offers CBD bar soap that will keep you pain-free and smelling fresh at the same time. Bar soap comes in a variety of scents ranging from lavender all the way to cherry almond. All CBD products offered at Sugar Mountain Trading, 100% natural, 100% free of THC. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL20, BTL20. Save 20% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Debbie Antonelli has been the play-by-play voice of the Indiana Feline since 2000. Deb was calling games for this team when they were still calling themselves the Fever. Hell, for most of the last 25 years, Deb was the only one in the building watching this team. Before Caitlin Clark arrived, Deb was occupying the only taken seat in the house. Every other seat in the building was empty. Sometimes the coach's seat was even empty because coach didn't bother to show up for the game. Friday, Deb appeared on something called Gojo and Golic. Now, I immediately recognized Mike Golic, but I have no idea who in the hell Gogo is. He must be a fan of the Wicked Weave Joy Reid because he damn sure copied her hairstyle. If you combine the hairs between Gogo and Joy, you would have to stop counting at 1. Friday, Deb was speaking with Gogo and Mike Golic. They were talking about Caitlin Clark and her impact on the WNBA. At one point, they started talking about WNBA officiating, or the complete lack thereof. Mike Golic asked why we continue to see Caitlin Clark being targeted, for lack of a better word. Deb mentioned that there's always been physicality in the WNBA, but it needs to be cleaned up so they could showcase the best basketball in the world on the women's side. Now, that comment alone gave Debbie Antonelli instant credibility. Normally, we hear the mainstream media describe the WNBA as the best basketball in the world. These elite athletes are amazing. But Debbie Antonelli included the caveat on the women's side, which I thought was fair analysis. She then elaborated on the lack of officiating and the shit Caitlin Clark has to deal with. Watch for yourself.
Caitlin has had her fair share of knocks. There's no question about it. But also at the same time, she is at the top of the scouting report. And if you want to win the game, it's important that you limit what she can do. You take away her vision, you're physical with her when she's off the ball. You do all those things. And there's a certain line. And if the referees don't take care of managing that line, then players are going to cross the line. You guys know you're going to try to do whatever you can to get away with as much as you can until it's called out. And that means the whistle has to blow. And from Indiana's standpoint, she's been taking quite a beating. I think there's been too much chatter about it, and I do think it needs to be cleaned up.
Debbie Antonelli made a great point. Opposing players are doing what WNBA officials allow them to get away with. Basically, it seems like she's subtly insinuating that it's not the player's fault, it's the official's fault, the league's fault. Now, full transparency here. I am not an expert on pretend basketball. I watch a lot of the NBA. I only watch the WNBA when I have to. In most cases, if Caitlin Clark isn't playing, I ain't watching. Sometimes I will punish myself by watching Angel Reese attempt to play basketball, but I don't watch the WNBA like I watch the NBA. Now, that being said, I have noticed something in these discussions about the lack of officiating. When talking about the lack of officiating, I never hear talk of Angel Reese. I never hear people complaining about Paige Beckers being treated unfairly. Fans of AJ Wilson, also known as her parents. I never hear mom and dad complain about AJ not getting a fair whistle, which leads me to believe one of two things are true here. Either Caitlin Clark fans are whiners, Caitlin Clark fans believe that she is the ultimate victim, or Caitlin Clark is being targeted by opposing players and WNBA officials aren't doing a damn thing about it. Me personally, I believe it's the latter. Think about it. This conversation has been going on for almost 2 years. I have showed you guys countless examples of the physicality that Caitlin Clark has to deal with. I'm sure other channels here on YouTube have done the same thing. Now, the media claims that the WNBA has always been this physical, yet for some reason, they rarely provide examples of this supposed physicality happening to other players, at least on a consistent basis. The media, they'll highlight one-offs, they'll show a hair pull here and there, but they never provide examples of this consistently happening to other players. I wonder why. As commissioner of this league, it is Cathy Engelbert's responsibility to address the problem. But I've got this feeling Cathy Engelbert refuses to address the problem because she's afraid of the backlash. She's afraid of the backlash from the media, and she's damn sure afraid of the backlash from WNBA players. If there is one thing WNBA players do well, it is complain. But if you're Cathy Engelbert, who gives a shit what other players think? You've got one player in this league generating revenue. You've got one player generating mainstream interest. In terms of drawing power, AJ Wilson can be replaced. Breanna Stewart can be replaced. No one is buying tickets to see Shelby Shucklefuck. They're paying to see Caitlin Clark, and it's kind of hard to see Caitlin Clark when she's consistently injured. But give me your thoughts on this. Debbie Antonelli, who I would consider to be a WNBA expert, she calls out the lack of officiating specifically with Caitlin Clark. Is Caitlin Clark being treated unfairly? Is it time for Cathy Engelbert to step in and do something about it? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.